SpotlightMediaStudios.com. Welcome to Education Unfiltered. Here is Mary Stucko.
Hello, this is Mary Stucko with Education Unfiltered, where we talk all things higher ed. And today we are talking about the insurance industry and insurance education with Tom Humphries, who's the director of the Risk Management and Insurance Center at Olivet College. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Excellent. Greetings, Mary. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. So tell me, let's tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in insurance and how you became the director of Olivet College.
Absolutely. So I've been in insurance since 89. I went to Michigan State University for a degree in telecommunications, and I'm like a lot of people that are in the industry that said, when I started out, I really never saw myself being in the insurance industry. It was probably one of those things that I never even considered. But I got interested in it because my in-laws had an independent agency, and I was in sales when I first came out of college and said, this looks like a pretty good business to be in from a sales perspective. And that's what piqued my interest. I joined Farmers Insurance Group. I was an agent. I started a scratch agency in 1989, and scratch just means I started with 0 policies, which is always a fun thing starting out. And at that time, worked real hard and built a pretty successful agency after about 8 years, and then became a district manager with Farmers Insurance Group, where I recruited and trained agents throughout West Michigan to help them start their own businesses and start their own agencies. And during that time, I also started teaching licensing classes, property and casualty and life and health for Kaplan Financial, which is one of the larger names in the country for professional education, and really enjoyed teaching and had a great time with that, and decided, maybe I could do this at another level. So I ended up leaving Farmers in 2010 and went back into the agency side, this time with my in-laws in the independent agency, and then decided, let's see what I can do for education. And an opportunity opened up with Olivet to teach in 2015. So I've been at Olivet since 2015, and after a year of teaching, the previous director, Carol Breed, left. She decided to retire, and I was asked to step into the position. So that's how I've gotten to where I am right now, and it's been a fun journey. The insurance industry is always different and exciting, even though people's perceptions are different. And I know that you found that to be true as well.
Absolutely. Now tell us a little bit about Olivet College. Obviously, they're one of the best-known insurance schools, especially in Michigan. Can you tell us a little bit about Olivet's history and what you do there?
Certainly. So Olivet is a small private school, approximately 30 minutes south of Lansing. We have a whole 1,000 students here. So it's not a very big campus, which is a great fit for a lot of students who are looking for smaller class sizes and that sort of hometown, I know everybody feel. We've got lots of great degrees here, and Olivet has been around, yikes, I should have had this handy. I want to say over 150 years, so it's a well-established school. And the insurance program has been around since 1986. So the Insurance and Risk Management program originally started out to be a partnership with the industry and with higher education. So when it first started out, it was primarily taught by industry professionals. So there was a lot of real-world hands-on, those types of things in the classroom. And even though education has transformed over the years, where you just can't grab somebody out of industry and plop them in here, they have to have the credentials to be able to teach and the degrees, we still try to stick to that core principle of saying, let's teach textbook information, but let's also bring in the real-world applications, both through our experienced educators who all have real-world experience, but also bringing in industry professionals to be guest speakers and and telling, here's what will happen when you are ready to graduate and go out and get that first job. So that's what we do here, and we've got as you said, a well-recognized program. AM Best, which, if some people aren't aware, is one of the most well-known insurance rating organizations in the country. Every 2 years, they do a ranking of insurance and risk management programs in the country. And in 2020, so just a little over a year ago, they did a ranking, and we were fortunate enough to be ranked number 2 in the country in that ranking. And we're along with University of Georgia, Florida State, Temple, lots of big schools, and then there's little old Olivet. So we're very proud of our program.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. When the student starts taking insurance and risk management classes there, what kind of classes will they expect to take?
Well, the insurance and risk management degree here is essentially a specialized business degree. So they will take accounting, econ, financial management. So they'll take those foundational business courses, but they will also take insurance risk management courses starting from fall term freshman year. So they'll take principles of insurance, personal insurance. They'll also have commercial insurance. So they'll take a plethora of insurance courses along the way. And Olivet College is a liberal arts college, and we do value that as an institution and within the program. So they will also take what's called the liberal arts core curriculum, which is going to be some global experience courses. They will take creative experience. They'll take a diversity class. So they will take other courses that all majors require in order to get a bachelor's degree from Olivet.
Very good. What is campus like for students that are, leaving home for the first time and venturing out? What can they expect?
Yeah, we have dorms on campus. So as I said, it's a fairly small campus. Everything is within walking distance, pretty much a 5-minute walk from wherever your dorm is to your classrooms. So it is very convenient. And we have a great cafeteria, which I think is very good. Sometimes students disagree with that, but I think it's very good. And it really is one of those small setting feelings where you know people in your classes, you know people within the program, and you know pretty much everybody on campus. We do have a few students who come from larger high schools. They're like, yeah, I graduated with 1,200 people, so the whole college is smaller than their graduating class. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the students that we attract come from, hey, I had a graduating class of 150, so I'm used to this size, I like this size, and it works well for me.
Very good. Now, you talk a lot about, bringing real life into the classroom, and I know you encourage internships. What kind of internships do your risk management students tend to go into?
Actually, part of our degree program is a required internship for at least 3 credits. So they have to have at least one internship registered as a course. Mm-hmm. We encourage students to have 2, maybe 3 internships before they graduate, even though only 1 is required, just so they can, again, get that experience and see what they like and what they don't like, because we talk about things in the classroom and we'll have guest speakers and take them out, but there's nothing like getting your hands dirty in a position to see, okay, can I see myself doing this in a career? Mm-hmm. So students will go and get jobs in claims with major insurance companies, underwriting. Some will go into HR even, and marketing. And then also on the agency side, they will go out and work in both captive and independent agencies, either doing customer support, or we do offer licensing classes. And if they're licensed, then they can actually go live on the phones as the agency feels comfortable and let them sell and talk with customers. And one of the things I really, really encourage is for students to be in the agency side for an internship, and then also on the company side for an internship. Mm-hmm. Because even though they think this is the path I want to go down, I want to be an underwriter. I don't like sales. So you know what? Go over and get an internship in an agency. You might find you like it. You just don't know because you haven't experienced it yet. And even if you don't like it, it's still a good experience because now you know what you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now, what kind of clubs can the risk management students be a part of?
So there are various clubs on campus, but the primary one, and I know that there's one at other programs around the country and at LCC, is Gamma Iota Sigma, which is a business fraternity. And even though it's called a fraternity, it's really more like a professional society. Mm-hmm. And we really work on community service, giving back to the community, and that's important to a lot of students. They're very conscious about helping other people. And to be in the insurance industry, that's really what we're all about in the insurance industry as well, is helping people when they have a time of need. So they do a lot of community service, but also we do a lot of professional development. So we talk about interviewing, we talk about resume building. We actually do etiquette dinners to make sure when they go to that business luncheon or a business dinner that they know which fork to use, where to put their napkin, because not all students know those things. So we work on that. But then also there are national conferences where they can network. I always tell them, you've heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, I say, guess what? That's only half right. You have to know people, but you also have to know things, too. You got to have both sides of the equation. And you can come out of here with a 4.0, but if you don't know how to talk to people and you don't have any connections, it's going to make life difficult to move to the place that you want to go to. So we network with other chapters of Gamma Iota Sigma from around the country at top programs. So they get to network with their soon-to-be peers when they enter the industry, but then also they make great connections with professionals and recruiters throughout the country and, frankly, the world.
That's a phenomenal opportunity for them. Can you also tell me, and obviously this has been a weird year, so we're doing things different, but what kind of activities do your risk management students get to do, like in an average semester or throughout their school year, to get them engaged in the industry?
Yeah. Well, there's lots of activities. Obviously, Gamma Iota Sigma has a national conference and a regional conference that students will go to. We will take them to a conference for WSIA, which is the Wholesale and Insurance, or Specialty Insurance Association, to learn about excess and surplus lines. They will do, as I said, lots of community service. They organize those things. So in a normal year, we would do an Easter egg hunt out in the square for students in the Olivet area. They go and visit nursing homes. They do bowling with veterans, all of those types of things for community service. But then also to engage with the industry, obviously we have guest speakers, but also there are CPCU societies around the state. And anybody that's in insurance typically knows CPCU stands for Chartered Property and Casualty Underwriter. That is a professional designation that's sort of the hardest one to get. And there's societies around the state of professionals who have that designation. Our students on a regular basis will visit those luncheons. So they will visit and network. And often, like in another month, our students are going to be doing a presentation on ethics in insurance to this group of 100 CPCUs.
That's fantastic. So, talking to other colleges and universities that do this, there's a really high percentage of graduates who get jobs. And I think that's probably the same with Olivet. Can you tell us what percentage of students will have a job after they graduate?
Yeah, it really varies, I should say. There are many years where we will hit 100%, where everybody that graduates will have a job. And the interesting thing is a lot of them get it wrapped up early. I'm going to say 40% of my students that are going to graduate in May already have job contracts signed and done. They had them done in December.
Excellent.
So they get to go through that last semester of their senior year going, hey, I already know what I'm going to do. Not that we let them slack off in the last semester, because I say don't shoot yourself in the foot and then get a poor GPA and then lose out on that job. But they already have it lined up. And some years will be at 95% at graduation time, but typically within a month or two, they will have some jobs. Usually the issue is not getting an offer it's which offer to take, because many students will get multiple offers and they have to make that choice.
Yeah, that's a really good place to be in, especially now, where I think people really want that security of knowing I'm going to have a job when I get done here. Can you also tell us what kind of jobs, in the last year or two, what kind of jobs are your students taking?
Yeah, some are obviously going the agency side. They've decided I want to go sell, so they are working typically in independent agencies. We do have a few that have gone out to work in captive agencies as well, with the goal of getting some experience, getting some time with that captive company to be able to show them what they can do, so eventually in another year or two they can move over and have their own agency. Many students will go into claims, and they will work in, some are going into PIP claims, some are going into auto physical damage, and then also a lot are going into underwriting.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tom. This is Tom Humphries, the Director of the Risk Management and Insurance Center at Olivet College. This is Mary Stucko with Education Unfiltered. I want to thank our podcast sponsors today, Accident Fund of Michigan and Davenport University. Have a great day.